Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here, and today I am doing a very special unboxing. We are doing the I don't know what that is on the inside that's moving, but the Mass Effect Legendary Cache. I got the something's in it. I got the Wave 2, so that's why this review is coming out so late. But I'm excited to finally have this thing. I've been waiting forever for this thing. I pre-ordered it honestly, I think I pre-ordered they sold out really quick. As far as the first wave and stuff, I think it was only a couple days, maybe only a day, possibly two, after they actually announced it. Because I was, debating it. It's do I really want to spend the money on it? It's been a long time since I'd played at least the original trilogy, which I do love. I never played Andromeda, despite having this bad boy right here. I got that from Loot Crate because they had a special Mass Effect thing, and at the time, Mass Effect Andromeda had just come out. And it was oh, I'm excited for it. Never bought it because of all the reviews, of course. But and also here's the box with the N7 on it. Relive the Legend. Says the same thing on this side as well, and then just the N7 there, and then as you saw, the Legendary Cache. I gotta be careful with this thing. Actually, I'm gonna do this down here and then take stuff out one at a time. But at the time when I got that, I got a couple other things. Got some glasses and stuff like that to drink glasses, and it was I was still in hype. I was new Mass Effect, that is actually a helmet. I'll be right back. Alright, so this is what I just got in from delivery. I don't know if you guys even actually heard the knock on the door when I was oh, there's a knock on the door. So you can check out this review probably this weekend, I'd say. So you might have 2 unboxings this weekend. I actually technically did the one for that one already. That's my replacement one because I had some issues with that. So you can check that out in the review. But getting back to Mass Effect. It had been a minute. Mass Effect trilogy's coming back out whenever they decide to do Mass Effect 4 or whatever they're actually going to call it. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm very excited for all of it. I don't have Mass Effect 3, but I don't have the trilogy. Sorry, not Mass Effect. I have all 3 games. I just don't have the Legendary Edition collection, whatever it's actually called. I can't remember right now. But we got this letter right off the top here. So it says, "Congratulations on your graduation from Captain David Anderson. Shepard, when I graduated from the N7 program, I had the honor of meeting Admiral Grissom, the man who inspired me to pursue a career in the service, and I never thought I'd feel prouder in my life. I was mistaken. Don't get me wrong, it was a big day, an important day. But there's something about welcoming driven young people like yourself into the ranks that's also pretty damn satisfying. Your distinguished service record may have gotten you into this program, but it was your courage, integrity, and tenacity that's the best of humanity. And I feel certain you'll make the galaxy a better place. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. I totally can't see. There's this itty bitty little period there. Becoming an N7 means the entire systems alliance is man, I messed up this whole bottom. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. Here we go. Becoming an N7 means the entire systems alliance is telling you one thing. We believe in you. Let me end by saying this. Welcome to the team, Shepard. We know you won't let us down." Very cool. So there's that. Normally I read way better than that, but it is what it is. So I also pre-ordered this early enough to actually get the special second canvas print that they had, which is FemChef on it. So I'm very excited to pop this bad boy open. I also didn't realize these were thin. I thought so. My canvas prints back there are you can even see how thick they are. These are super thin. This is like a comic book, and I did not know that. I was okay, I'm gonna figure out my spacing for this. I thought they were gonna be kind of the same width and size and stuff. These are super thin, which I do not mind. It does make it a lot easier, so I'm definitely okay with that. We're definitely gonna check this one out first. Last thing I want to do is mess this up, but you think there would be an actual opening. It feels like it's sealed. Hold on, there we go. There we are. I'm just a little stupid. But I think this one, I'm probably a bit more excited for this one than I am the one that comes with all of them, which is the N7. Or not the N7, the SR1. The Normandy? There it is. Yeah. I think it's called the Normandy. It's been a minute since I've honestly played the game, so I don't remember every name of everything, to be honest with you guys. This is nice though. I like this. So there it is. As you can see, decent length and stuff. I like the color. It's very wallpaper-esque, where it's just the character on one side, and then it's this is where all your icons go, and then here's the character. It's very wallpaper-like, and I do not mind that at all. It honestly has an interesting smell to it. But I definitely like this. It's very cool. And also with it being on this flat surface, it being canvas, much like those bad boys back there, I like that it's on this flat surface because I'm not worried about like, oh, what if someone falls or pushes into it or something. It's on a solid surface, although you can probably hear that. So I think there's like a little bit of space in there, but that's nothing major or anything like that. Get yourself some tack or little thingies like my hat is on. I forgot what that command strips. You're good to go, and it's super flat too, so that definitely makes it easier. You can just stick it on the back and you're good to go. So that's number one. I think that's very cool. I know my light is basically pretty much hitting the giant empty space over here, but there you go. You got Film Shop with their Omni Blade. Also, I don't know if they're still selling it. They might be, they might not be, but I know they were selling the Omni Blade that actually lit up. And I know that ended up being funded, so you might still be able to get that. It might also be, it probably been sold out because that was months ago when I checked that out. But I thought about that too. I was like, I kind of want to get it, especially because I was getting this. I was like, I'm getting the helmet. I kind of want to get that too. But having a helmet and an Omni Blade are very, very far from having a full freaking outfit, of N7 armor. So I was like, I'll be fine without the Omni Blade. It's okay. I think I'll manage because I'm not gonna cosplay Mass Effect. I ain't got money like that. So it is what it is. But you might still be able to get that, and I thought it was really cool. And then we have the Normandy SR1. And this is cool. So I would say between these two, I think I do like the Fem Shop one more, even though it's because it's very wallpaper-like, where it's, like I said, the character and then all that empty space. And this is cool, but something about it just seems super plain, where it's just like, it's the ship in space. Like this one, even though it's just the character and a bunch of darkness, this one just seems better to me. And plus there's way more detail. I mean, it's detail in an actual character for one, and then this is just the ship floating in space. I do like the little bit of aura, like right there. That's cool. I like how they have that. But I would definitely go, if I had to pick one of these and it was like you had an option, I would have went Film Shop for sure. So I'm glad I did get the pre-order. This was no extra. It was literally just like, if you pre-order within a certain time to get the thing, we'll just throw this on top. Or maybe it was exclusive. Maybe that's what it was, because you could get this in other places. I think it was exclusive to the BioWare store that you would actually get this at no additional cost. It was the same cost. They were just like, if you buy it directly from us, we'll just throw in an extra art print. So it's definitely worth it, because I think this is better than getting just the Normandy one. But both very cool. So I like them both, but I'm definitely more preferential to the Fem Shop wallpaper compared to the Normandy wallpaper. Just some of that stuff back there. At least keep the plastic. And then we have a nice little, we have our Paragon Renegade pin here. Very cool. Double pin. Pop this off because I know it spins as well, so. Actually, you know what? Just in case, just to be extra safe, I don't know if I can stab myself on basically spinning a coin. Just in case. Do this. Ooh, that's about to roll out of my hand. Let's do it that way. There we go. So, you got your Renegade. Oh, you can't even spin. Okay, that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't at all. So you can't actually spin it with the things in it. You have to take the pins out to spin it. Or I shouldn't say the pins, but you have to take the backings off to actually spin it. So that's interesting. But there you go. Renegade Paragon. I think that's cool. I would actually like to have seen it, because the backside of this is actually silver. It kind of would have been cool if the Renegade had the black outline and then you could just flip it. That wouldn't really work as an actual pin, so that's not how pins work. But I do like it. It's definitely cool. I think it's pretty interesting. But yeah, it's funny that, I mean, it's a pin, so if you were wearing it, it wouldn't spin anyway. But at the same time, it's not like pins are typically put on hard surfaces. If you do, it's like a corkboard or something, or it's, people put them like in those backpacks and stuff. But if you're wearing it and it's a moving pin, it's just on a shirt and like it's on your skin. Like you could, I could have this laying flat on my chest or something and then just flip it underneath. But because the things, you can't actually do that. So I kind of understand, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of wish it spun. I also have like this itty bitty little nick on mine, unless that's, oh, never mind. There's like some residue on it. I thought the paint was scratched because I was seeing white, but it was just some residue. But I like it. It's simple. Obviously this wasn't like the number one thing that I was looking forward to, but it's cool. I do like it. I'm just the type of person, like, I rarely ever use pins anyway. So for me, it's just like, oh, okay, it's cool, but you know, it's not the craziest thing ever. And I'll probably, oh, that's actually the back of it there. So I'll probably end up keeping this just to have it like on a flat surface, so the bottom, when I'm laying it flat, it doesn't get scratched up. But I like it. I definitely think this fits more. Like the black kind of just fits with the Renegade because it's literally black within it. You know, like it's a black circle, then the red circle, and then a black space with the red star. And then when you flip it, it's like, oh well, which I can't do now because I just put the things on. There we go. But it'll be black, and then you have the blue and the white. So it would have been cool if you could do a double-sided, but at that point, it would basically just have to be a keychain. So I understand why they did that. Honestly, I feel like, I mean, that's just me. Like I said, everybody's different when it comes to pins and keychains and all those sorts of things. I don't really use either, but if I had a choice, I would definitely go with the keychain personally. And especially considering, you can't even actually spin the thing. Like once you kind of have it, that's pretty much it. You have to take the pins off just to flip it the correct way. So it's a minute thing, obviously, kind of somewhat nitpicking about that, but it just seems weird. Like you have something that can literally spin, but they didn't make it to where the pins were small enough to actually allow you to spin it. So I just like, I'm kind of iffy about that one. But moving on, of course, we have the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Oh, I didn't know this was raised. So this, of course, is the steelbook case, N7 on the back, Shepard on the front. And this is actually, I guess technically you can call it embossed because it's the whole thing, but it is raised. So all the black space is like, it really is the background, and then the actual character is all raised up. There's no extra embossing or anything like that. So like all the little ridges and everything, it's all flat, but the actual profile of Shepard does come up. Even this very small piece, like right there, even that's come up because technically that's separated from the rest of the body, but that is also raised. So I think that's actually cool that they bothered to even do that. And then as it goes around the edge here, it's completely flat. So as it should be, it's a spine, but it's raised all the way around. The N7 is also raised, which is very cool. So you got that. And then there's that, and then we'll check the inside just to see if they put a picture. Okay, it's just the background of the regular case where it's the Paragon and Renegade covers, or the colors, I should say, not covers. But it's definitely cool. I like this steelbook. It's very sweet. I, of course, like most people, I do wish this came with the game because it's pretty nuts that it didn't, because I believe it was like $160 or something wild. It was a decent chunk of money for it to not even come with the game. And I do remember thinking that I think was the main thing that made me go like, do I really want to spend this much on like I kind of hate collector's editions that don't even come with the game. It's like, it just always feels weird. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 did that, and they had like that box, and it was like $200. I think the thing was like almost $200 for that, and it was just a bunch of stuff in it that was like from the game. It was very cool, but I was like, it's like $200, and it doesn't even come with the game. Like, I'd much rather have like one less random item and have the game, which, considering how long the pretty much any Rockstar game is, you'd get your money's worth out of that. But I thought that was interesting, and now I kind of wish I bought that too, because I saw it for like super cheap at GameStop one time, and I was just like, it was like on an insane sale, and I was like, I should have bought that just to resell it off for eBay. But c'est la vie, if you will. And then, of course, moving on to the pièce de résistance, we of course have the helmet here. The main reason to even bother with this thing, get yourself an official Mass Effect N7 helmet, which I'm sure there are a million places you could pick this thing up, before this came out, but now you have like the official full-on EA, we want to steal all your money approved light up helmet. And I got my batteries prepped, so we will do a nice little cut once I get to the part where I'm going to be installing the batteries and all that good stuff. It would have been super cool if this came in like a really fancy case or something. That would have been like, even more money, but it would have been pretty sweet if they did that. It was just like, we're going to put in like a super fancy this does actually say Mass Effect on it. You can't see it too well, but you can kind of see it. I think it's better. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if it's tough to say. It's not that cheap styrofoam where every time you bump into it, it pops off. So I might actually keep this just as a part of having the whole thing. Okay, here we go. So I was cutting around this thing. I had to like cut through it again. It's so hard to see because it's just gray. It's like super hard to see when you actually pierce through. And I was like sliding my kunai along. I guess it's just not sharp enough. I was literally like sliding it along, and then I would poke and I'd hear it like the tape like pop. And I'm like, I didn't cut any of that. So I had to go around all over again to actually cut the whole thing. But here we are. Mass Effect N7 helmet. It's a big helmet. That's great. I have a big head. Okay. It's got that new plasticky smell to it. I mean, it looks huge. It looks ridiculously big. Pop this bad boy on, see how it feels. Okay, I can adjust this a little bit. It's definitely, so my eye line is like right here. Like right where my finger is basically at the bottom. So I need to readjust it. So you can see, I can actually see that you can clearly see me through this. So you can see my eyes like pretty much don't show up unless I kind of duck down. So I'm pretty much like kind of looking up if I'm looking for it. So I have to readjust that just a bit once I kind of get through all the instructions and everything. But it's definitely a nice looking helmet. I think the design is great on this. I mean, it's got all the little ridges and everything. Like all of that is detailed. You can feel every single little ridge. Obviously this is just, it's just smooth red, but I like this for sure. All on the side here, everything, every little ridge you can totally touch. Everything is embossed, like the painting on it, definitely well done. It's got like that little bit of weathering at the top here. So it's like that little bit of like the silver coming off. So it's been used. You can kind of see it in the cracks where it's like a tiny bit of silver. There, it's better with the reflections actually. So you can see like those little bits of silver. So it's not like 100% like a brand new thing. Like it's been worn already. It's been used in battle. Got little brush marks and so I think they kind of painted a little bit on the top of my thing there. No, I guess that's just how it's supposed to look. But it still looks like they kind of painted over. Like you can actually kind of see it where like the brown is supposed to stop. And then you can see like that little streak is like, that just looks like they just didn't paint it right. But it's the same on both sides. So it's like, I guess they may have messed up and be like, wow, artistic matching. So I don't know, that's just what it looks like to me. So you can let me know your thoughts on that. But it has it in multiple spots. So maybe it genuinely is supposed to look that way. But I definitely like how this thing looks. I love the little bit of weathering and stuff where it does look like it's been kind of scratched up and scuffed and used. It kind of has it at the top here too. It's a little hard to tell with my camera, especially with the light, but you can kind of see like, yeah, those little extra reflections, they actually show up better in the light than when you actually look at it. It makes it look like it sticks out way more, but basically on here it just looks super shiny, but when you actually look at it, you can see that that's because it's the paint kind of fading away on the very edges of it, and it's kind of coming in with the silver underneath, so that's why you get that added reflection when it's up close to the camera. And that's actually really cool. So I like how they kind of messed around with that stuff. I've never really thought about, you know, playing the Mass Effect games. It's like, you know, the helmet is just the helmet, and I never really dived into it much. I always thought it was like, yeah, it's a nice looking helmet, it's the Mass Effect helmet, it's cool. But seeing it up close, I definitely like it. I also don't think I ever realized there was a lot of brown. I don't think I've ever noticed that, you know, actually playing the game, that it was technically like brown up here. So it's just funny. I thought it was just kind of just black. Like I was just shooting aliens and having sex with aliens. That was Mass Effect. I'm sorry. You know, younger times, I was just like banging and killing. Those were the days, I guess. But I like this. Obviously, I'm gonna pop the batteries in this, and then we'll check out the Paragon Renegade stuff. So I'll be right back with that. All right. So before we get to the lights, with the adjustments, you can actually take the whole thing out and actually fit it how you want it to fit. It also had like a chin strap kind of tucked up underneath there. I hate chin straps, but this at least isn't stretchy like a Luke Skywalker helmet. I hate that thing. Also snaps you in the face when you forget. You take it off, boom, hit you right in the lip. It's painful. But I like that they actually made it where you can take the whole thing out, adjust it on your head, and then you put it back in the helmet. I wish everybody did that whenever they have it made like this. If you could take it out. If it's not easy to like open up the thing like this, you obviously have to go all the way in to adjust it. I love the fact that they made it where you can literally take the entire thing out. You can do, it has the twist to adjust it, so you twist it this way, you know, righty tighty, lefty loosey, basically. And then chin strap you put as much as you need. And this is the same thing where it has well, actually this, I'm not sure. This one seems like it's just wrapped in, so maybe it's just this part in the chin strap that you can really adjust. But it also looks like you could take these out and possibly move them up. So the way they're set up, like with these 3 rings, I would assume you can move those out. I could be wrong about that, but that also seems where there would just be that much space and you couldn't do any extra adjustments. So I'm gonna mess around with this, get it to where I like it, and then we'll officially get to where the lights are coming in. All right, so after what is no effing lie, I think I just spent 30 effing minutes trying to put this thing back together. After taking it out, it was just, I'm just an idiot. I'm just dumb, I guess. So I was trying to flip it in there. I couldn't push the things down. I could have sworn it was backwards because the way they have it latched in is you actually latch it in over the strings in here. So when you latch these little, you can't really see it from this angle, but when you latch these in place, you actually have to put the string in the little placeholder. And apparently these were spinning around when I lifted them out, and I didn't know that because one of them, I was like, or the back two, I thought they were in a different position. They had to be different from the front. Apparently they're all supposed to be in the same position, which just doesn't look right when you do it. It literally twists up all the little stuff at the top, which is how it's supposed to fit on your head. So I spent forever trying to fit that junk in there, and even when I had it, it took me forever just to get it to actually like slot into place. It took me a million years. It was really pissing me off. So here we go. But I did get a good adjustment though. So boom, I got my eyes. Got the little chin strap. I'd say it's a good adjustment. Seeing how it looks, you know, because I can see my eyes in the monitor there. I like it. You can actually see the red. Like, it's definitely, the lights are literally in front of my eyes. Like, there's, like, I can, like, yeah, there's a lot of space, like, right up at the front here because the helmet's so big. So you got space. You can see all the lights. You can see whatever lights you have. There's lights kind of up at the top. There's a light like right here. There's a light right here. I could do this from the outside, but it's funnier this way. There's a light there and right there too. So you can see those, and I can see the ones, of course, on the front here. And I think there's some extras on the side. Yeah. So I definitely think that's cool. I definitely like the way it looks. Got lights on the back too. That's pretty nice. It doesn't show up as well. It looks more orange than it does red because of the light, of course, like blaring right on it. But it's definitely a nice, vibrant red, and I think that's really cool. So I definitely love the way it looks. Like I said, it's definitely coming up more orange than it is red. It looks pretty much how it looks there. I'd say that's a more accurate color, like what you see in the visor more than what you see at the front there. That's more accurate. So I'd say that just a little bit darker maybe than what you're actually seeing from the camera itself. But it's definitely cool. And the switch is literally just one of the 3-way switches. So, you know, it's basically left, right, middle. And then boom, switch to blue. Got our blue there. Blue's my favorite color, so I'm super biased, but I think the blue looks better personally. So that's super cool. And once again, very vibrant. Like I said, I think the visor is a more accurate depiction based on what you guys are getting from the actual camera, but definitely looks cool. Pop this bad boy on. I like it. It's definitely good. I think it's really cool. Just looking at it from here, like you can see really where the lights are exactly, because I'm noticing now that you can see like right where the lights are, because it kind of has that thing where, you know, if you have 2 spotlights, you can see where the spotlights are pointing at. So you can see that the lights are right here pointing down, and then the rest is kind of with, you know, kind of space light. Pretty much it's just filled in from where the lights are, and that's not bad. But I do kind of wish they did it like instead of having it like this, which I guess the reason they did that is so that it's lit up, you know, literally right by your eyes, because that's where people will mostly look. Instead of having, you know, 2 here and then maybe one up top and one, you know, at the bottom in the middle. So I can kind of see that, and maybe, you know, there'll just be pointless to have extra lights because they know it'll fill the whole space. So if you put 4 kind of almost center, you know, kind of a decent, especially when you have 4, it's okay to not have them all directly in the center. So it's spaced out to kind of fill out the rest of the glass, or plastic really. But I think it's good. I don't know how well you guys can tell as far as the fog and everything, but of course with it being so much space in the middle, your breath is definitely just fogging up all of this. So it's definitely foggy if I'm looking around. I can see where I'm going, but not if I'm looking like right at the light. Like I can barely see my finger. If I put one finger up, it's kind of hard to see my finger because of the light there kind of hitting the plastic with all the, you know, the heat off my mouth, kind of messing up the glass here. But I think it's cool. I definitely like it. Aside from the fact that I genuinely just spent like 30 effing minutes trying to put that thing together, because I took it out and I didn't realize what it looked like when I pulled it out. And then I was like, okay, well, it can't possibly do this because that wouldn't make any sense. And it turns out it just doesn't make sense. The way it looks, like, it just doesn't look right. The way that it fits in, I'm telling you, just looks really wrong. Like, the front two are just normal. They just look normal. And then the back two, I'm like, I had to twist these up to make it work. So I could have twisted them the wrong way. Like, one looks better than the other. I was having a real hard time just getting the thing to and stay in position anyway. Because the way they do it is just on a plastic little tab. So probably won't be messing with that too much, especially because I pretty much got it how I like it. So I like the helmet. That was really just a user thing that it took me legitimately. I think I spent 20 to 30 minutes just I was struggling. It may not have even been that long. I just know my timer is at 55 minutes right now. I'm pretty sure I spent like 30 minutes. I'll just throw in here's an estimated amount of time, how much time I spent with everything that I cut out from, let's put I'm glad this thing can come out, to when I finally put it back in. Here's the actual time for that. So that's how long it took me just to fit the freaking thing back in place. First, I had to figure out that they do actually all go in the same position, because it just didn't look like it. Because, like I said, it didn't look like it would make any sense. And then just actually getting it into the position was tough in itself, because you have to click all four into place. And it was simple to get the ones that, the front two, that's why I thought I had to move them around. The front two slotted right back in, and then the other two, I'm like, I didn't even touch them. And somehow they had like flipped around and stuff, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, that's really what confused me. They managed to spin around, and I hadn't actually done anything yet. So that was just me thinking that it was one way, when in fact it was another. But all in all, great helmet. I definitely love it. I'd say the blue is better. I mean, it's easy to say this, but blue is always more vibrant. Like, for anyone who's not familiar with like kind of LEDs and all that stuff, blue is always the thing where it's like, red kind of gets washed out super easily. And I think it's just the fact that, darker colors kind of lose their vibrancy because they're already darker. And so red being a darker color, it starts to fade out. Like, even just the way it looks, it's like, just looking at the monitor, it just fades out a little bit more. There we go. Like, that just, it's blue, so it's brighter. It just looks more vibrant. The whole thing with the lights, I can see a lot better with the blue than I can with the red. You can like clearly see exactly where the lights are, but if I have the blue one on. You can see it with the red as well, but you can see it just doesn't come through as intensely. And then you hit it with the blue and it's like, yep, blue is just more vibrant. So yeah, and blue is my favorite color anyway. And that's the way it's meant to be played. You're supposed to be the good guy. You're the hero. Wash up. So all in all, nice helmet. I definitely enjoy it. I'm glad I got it. Another helmet to go in my helmet collection. Pretty good. It's huge. I feel like I'm wearing like, Mark 1 Iron Man type stuff or something. I feel like I got that. When I look at it from the monitor, I feel like I have like Ultron's head on top of my head. But I like it. It's pretty good. So all in all, a good purchase. I like this collector's edition. Of course, oh my goodness, that chin strap always gets me. Of course, I do wish it came with that effing game, but I knew what I was getting myself into. But I still like it. I enjoy everything that we got. So we got the helmet, we got our art prints, which I really do like. Thumb shop for sure. Got our Normandy here once again. Our little pin that can't actually spin, which is still like the one thing I'm just like, you can't really spin it. Like it spins, but only when it's unbuttoned, and that kind of feels like, I know you'd probably pick anyway, like one or the other, but at the same time, like I said, you make a spinning pin. I want to be able to spin it even if I have the little things on the back. So I don't know, they would have had to have made like custom ones to do that, of course, but it just feels weird that it spins, and then I'm just like, I can't have it where I'm just like, I have it pinned and like, you know what, boom, and I flip it and then I just pin it back again, which technically I would do that because I'd have to unpin it to do it, but I don't know, I guess that's why they did it that way. But I'm still just like, it'd be cool if you could just flip it as you have it. But still sweet. I definitely like it. I love this steelbook. It's very minimalist. It's just the person, and then that's it. And then of course the back N7. I would love it if it didn't have like the info at the back there, which I don't know. I feel like most steelbooks don't have the little information on the outside. I could be wrong, but I feel like typically steelbooks, it's like they don't put the company stuff on it. But I could be wrong. I could just be assuming that, and that's probably like a couple. But I would have loved it, like if it didn't have this on it and it was literally just jet black. And I feel like that's what most do, where you get whatever image you have, it's just that image and they don't put the information. Or maybe it's harder to see because most of them have pictures compared to just being like all black, and so you don't notice it kind of blending in with the other image that you have. So maybe that's the case. It doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal anyway. But it would be kind of cool. Like this is actually, so it's a huge. You can already tell it's definitely a fingerprint magnet. More than most steelbooks. It's definitely that glossy steelbook, which I don't think I even have a glossy steelbook myself. But I definitely like it. It makes it stand out for sure because I don't have any other ones like this. So it's very cool. Ultra reflective. I love this side profile. Kind of the embossed. It's simple. It doesn't even say anything. It's just like boom. It's just an image, and it's a great looking image. So I love that for sure. But helmet is obviously number one. I think it's a great collector's edition. We'd love to know your thoughts on this, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. If you pick this thing up, I would love to know what your favorite item is, or even if you just watch this review, what's your favorite item? If you guys could kind of rotate a couple things around, if you could change the images, what would you guys have put on there? I'm sure a lot of people would just say Garrus just because, but if you could have put different characters on there, who would you have put on there? Or would you have put, like maybe Femshep and Mel Shepherd? That would have been kind of cool just to have both, and it could have been like a vertical thing, like how they do the split in the middle. That probably would have been kind of cool. It would have been a little weird because obviously just the huge differences. I would have preferred if it was literally just a poster where it was her on one side and him on the other. I think that just would have been cool because they don't really do art like that, mostly because it's meant to be one person. But I would love it. I would have liked to have seen something like that. Of course, I would have loved to have seen something with the crew. Like if they could have switched out the Normandy one with just like the actual crew. Honestly, the image for the Legendary Edition, I actually think is good. I actually think it's pretty nice. So they could have done that, and I would have been totally fine with it if it was like the actual cover, just done. Like it could have been like a vertical piece. I would have been totally fine with that because I actually think that art is really well done. So I actually would have been okay with that. But I like what I got. I just would have liked something different, a little bit more, I think. But I got Femshep, and I'm happy with that. I got my helmet, which I'm happy with, and I got a really cool steelbook for me 5 years from now, and I'll actually have the game. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for checking this out. Like I said, we'd love to know what you guys thought about the helmet, the collection, as a whole. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.